Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive.
hmm
The drill, we're taking your suggestions, and today we're diving into building multiple income streams.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah, it is. Actually, this is something that a lot of people are talking about these days, and we got an article from one of our listeners called How to Build Multiple Income Streams for Financial Success. So
Catchy title.
it is.
Yeah,
So we're going to kind of go through that and see, what are the key takeaways? How can we apply this to our own lives? Because I think that's the most important thing, right?
absolutely. I think people get really excited about the idea,
Mm-hmm.
but then it's like, okay, how do I actually do this?
Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna dive into that and hopefully give you some actionable steps that you can take.
I like it.
So the article starts off by, really emphasizing why multiple income streams are so important.
Mm.
And, it lists a bunch of benefits, but the first one that really jumped out at me was financial security. It's like that safety net that we all kind of crave, especially in today's world. Things are changing so rapidly.
Absolutely. It's like having a backup plan for your finances.
Yeah, and it made me think of a friend of mine who, he lost his job a couple of years ago, completely out of the blue,
Oh, wow.
and he was the sole breadwinner for his family, and it was really tough. It was a really tough time for them.
Yeah, that's a perfect example of why having just one income stream, even if it's a good one, can be so risky.
Exactly, and the article talks about how building multiple income streams is like creating a diversified investment portfolio,
Hmm.
but for your livelihood.
Yeah, it's about spreading your risks so that if one income source dries up, you're not left high and dry.
Yeah, you got those other streams coming in to keep you afloat.
Exactly.
So, okay, diversification, that's key. But the article also talks about wealth accumulation.
Right. It's not just about surviving, it's about thriving.
Yeah, like how can having multiple income streams actually accelerate someone's path to building wealth?
Well, think about it this way. Imagine you have your, 9 to 5 job, which is your primary income source.
Okay.
You then decide to start a small side hustle, maybe selling handmade crafts online. Instead of spending all the profits from your side hustle, you reinvest a portion of them back into the business. You buy better materials, you upgrade your equipment, you maybe even take a course to learn new skills.
So you're using those initial profits to generate even more income.
Right, exactly. It's the power of compounding.
Oh, the snowball effect. I'm starting to see it.
Exactly. And the more income streams you have, the more opportunities you have to reinvest and accelerate that growth. It's like planting multiple seeds that can potentially grow into flourishing financial trees.
That's a great analogy.
Thanks.
And speaking of growth, the article also mentions early retirement as a potential benefit.
Oh, yeah, the dream.
Right. For some people, retirement might seem like a distant dream, but what if it didn't have to be? How could having multiple income streams actually make that dream a reality sooner?
It's about creating a system where your money works harder for you so you don't have to work as hard for your money.
Okay, I like that.
Imagine reaching a point where the passive income from your investments, your online businesses, your rental properties, whatever it might be, covers your living expenses.
Wow.
You would have the freedom to choose how you spend your time, whether that's traveling the world, pursuing a passion project, or simply enjoying more leisure time with loved ones.
That sounds pretty incredible.
It is. It's about reclaiming ownership of your time and having the flexibility to live life on your own terms.
And, the article didn't just focus on the financial benefits. It also talked about something that I think is really important, lifestyle freedom.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Right, because financial freedom and lifestyle freedom, they kind of go hand in hand, right?
Absolutely. It's about having the resources and the flexibility to design a life that aligns with your values and aspirations.
So maybe it's being able to work from anywhere in the world, having more time to spend with family, or finally pursuing that creative hobby you've always put on hold.
Exactly. It's about breaking free from the golden handcuffs.
Ooh, I like that.
Right.
So, okay, we've talked about the why, which is clearly compelling.
Very compelling.
But now let's get into the how.
Let's do it.
The article mentions different types of income streams, active, passive, and portfolio.
Right, the trifecta.
Yeah, so let's break those down a little bit. Active income, I think most people are familiar with that, right?
Yeah, that's where you're directly trading your time for money.
Yeah, it's your 9 to 5 job, your freelance gigs, anything where you're actively working to earn a paycheck.
Exactly.
Then there's passive income, which I think is the holy grail for a lot of people.
Oh, for sure. Passive income is the dream.
It's about putting in the effort up front to create a system or an asset that continues to generate income even when you're not actively working.
Right. So think about writing an ebook, for example.
Mm,
You put in the time and effort to create it, but then you can sell it on platforms like Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing,
Yeah.
and people can buy it on autopilot.
Oh, so I could be sleeping on vacation and still be generating income?
Yes, exactly. That's the beauty of passive income.
I love it. Okay, and then there's portfolio income.
Right. This is the income you generate from your investments.
So stocks, bonds, real estate, things like that.
Exactly.
So ideally, you want to have a mix of all three types of income streams, right?
Absolutely. It's all about balance. You don't want to rely too heavily on any single type.
Right. Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly. Diversification is key.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Now, I know you've read through the article, and I'm curious, what were some of the more unconventional or surprising strategies that jumped out at you?
Ooh, good question.
Because I know we want to go beyond just the typical side hustle advice here, right?
Yeah, absolutely. One that really caught my eye was this concept of micro-consulting.
Micro-consulting, okay, I've heard of that, but honestly, I've never really considered myself an expert in anything.
Well, here's the thing. Everyone has unique knowledge and skills that others might find valuable. Maybe
Yeah.
you're really good at organizing closets or training dogs or even playing a specific video game. Wait, are you telling me people would actually pay for advice on organizing their closets?
Absolutely. Micro-consulting is all about connecting with people who are willing to pay for your specific niche knowledge. You'd be surprised at what people are willing to pay for.
Okay, my mind is racing with possibilities.
I know, right?
So it's like being a consultant, but on a much smaller scale, focusing on a specific niche.
Exactly. And it's a great way to monetize a hobby, a passion, or even just something you're really good at without having to quit your day job or invest a ton of money up front.
Okay, micro-consulting. I'm adding that to my list of potential income streams.
I like it.
What else caught your attention in the article?
Have you ever heard of the term digital real estate?
Digital real estate. That sounds intriguing, but also a little bit intimidating.
It might sound complicated, but it's actually more accessible than you think. One example is buying and selling domain names, which is called domain flipping.
So you're buying website addresses and then selling them for a profit.
Exactly. It's similar to investing in real estate, but in the digital world, you're betting on the potential value of a domain name.
Okay.
Think about a new trend or technology emerging. A savvy domain flipper might buy up relevant domain names early on and then sell them later for a much higher price.
It's like speculating on virtual land.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay, now I'm really starting to see how this whole multiple income stream thing could open up a world of possibilities.
There are so many options out there.
And the best part is you don't have to be a tech whiz to do it right.
Not at all. There are platforms and marketplaces that make buying and selling domain names relatively straightforward.
This is amazing. It's like a whole new world of financial opportunities is opening up.
It really is.
Okay, so what about the sharing economy? Is that creating any new income streams that we might not have thought of before?
Absolutely. The sharing economy is booming. Did you know you can actually rent out your storage space to other people?
Wait, seriously, like my attic or my basement?
Yeah.
Exactly. There's a platform called Neighbor where you can list your unused space and people who need extra storage can rent it from you.
So I could be earning passive income from my clutter.
That's the idea.
That's genius.
It's a great example of how you can monetize assets you already have with minimal effort.
Okay, I'm definitely going to check that out. This is making me realize how many untapped income streams are probably hiding in plain sight all around us.
I know, it's exciting, isn't it?
It is. Okay, so we've covered some really interesting and unique strategies, but the article also talks about some proven principles for success, right? So what were some of the key takeaways there?
Well, one that really resonated with me was the importance of diversification. We touched on this earlier, but it's worth emphasizing again.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly. When you have multiple income streams, you're less vulnerable to economic downturns, job loss, or unexpected changes in your industry.
Yeah, that makes sense. But how do you actually diversify effectively? It's easy to say, don't put all your eggs in one basket. But how do you figure out what other baskets to use?
That's a great question.
Aha.
One approach is to look at your current income sources and ask yourself, what would happen if one of these suddenly disappeared?
Okay.
What skills or resources could I leverage to create an additional income stream that's relatively unrelated to my current ones?
So if someone is heavily reliant on their 9-to-5 job, they might want to explore passive income options that don't require them to be actively working all the time.
Precisely, it's about creating a portfolio of income streams that complement each other and reduce your overall financial risk.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. What about automation? I love the idea of setting things up so they generate income with minimal ongoing effort.
Oh, automation is a game changer when it comes to building passive income streams.
It is.
Think about online courses, for example. You can use platforms like Teachable or Kajabi
Yeah.
to host your course, automate email sequences, and even process payments automatically.
So you can essentially set up a system that runs on autopilot generating income while you're off doing other things.
Exactly.
That sounds amazing.
And there are so many tools and technologies available today that make automation easier than ever before. You can use AI-powered chatbots to handle customer service schedule, social media posts in advance, or even automate your email marketing campaigns.
This is really making me rethink how I approach work and income generation. It's not just about working harder, it's about working smarter.
I love that.
Okay, what's the next principle for success that stood out to you?
Reinvestment is crucial.
Reinvestment.
It's about taking a portion of your profits and using them to acquire more income-generating assets. Think of it like planting seeds for future growth.
So if you're making money from an online course, you could reinvest those earnings into creating a new course, expanding your marketing efforts, or even hiring a virtual assistant to help you scale your business.
Exactly. It's about using your initial success to create a snowball effect, generating even more income and building momentum over time.
I like.
It's a powerful strategy for accelerating your wealth-building journey.
Okay, reinvestment is definitely something I need to think more about. What was the final principle for success?
Staying ahead of trends.
Staying ahead of trends. Okay.
The world is changing faster than ever before, and new income-generating opportunities are emerging all the time.
Yeah, but how do you actually stay ahead of the curve? It feels like there's so much information out there, it's hard to know where to focus your attention.
You're right. It can be overwhelming. That's why it's important to be selective and focus on areas that align with your skills, interests, and goals.
So if I'm passionate about, say, sustainable living, I might want to follow industry blogs, podcasts, and thought leaders in that space to see what new products, services, or business models are emerging.
Exactly. It's about curating your information sources and being intentional about what you consume.
Okay.
And don't be afraid to experiment and try new things.
Okay, so stay curious, stay informed, and don't be afraid to step outside of your comfort zone.
I like it. Wow, this has been such a fascinating and insightful deep dive so far. We've covered a lot of ground.
Yeah, from the fundamental benefits of multiple income streams to specific strategies and proven principles for success.
It's been great.
You've given me so much to think about, and I'm already feeling inspired to start exploring some of these ideas.
Awesome.
And we're not done yet in the next part. We'll delve even deeper into specific income-generating strategies and provide you with practical steps to start building your own diversified income portfolio. So stay tuned.
I'm excited.
Welcome back. I am so ready to keep this conversation going.
Me too. We just scratched the surface in the last part.
I know, right? And I already have so many ideas swirling around in my head. So what else? What other kind of like gems did you find in that article?
Okay, well, one area that I think people often overlook is alternative investments.
Alternative investments.
Yeah, you know, we tend to think of stocks and bonds,
Right.
but there are other ways to grow your wealth and potentially generate some passive income too.
Okay, alternative investments. That sounds a bit mysterious. What exactly does that include?
Well, it could be things like fractional real estate investing.
Fractional real estate.
Yeah, have you heard of that?
I've heard the term, but I don't really know what it means.
Okay, so basically there are platforms like Fundrise, for example, that let you buy small shares of properties, kind of like buying stock in a building.
So instead of needing hundreds of thousands of dollars to buy a rental property,
Right.
I could get started with a much smaller investment.
Exactly. It makes real estate a lot more accessible.
That's cool. And it seems less hands-on than being a traditional landlord.
Right. You're not dealing with tenants or repairs or any of that.
Okay. What other alternative investments are out there?
Well, the article mentioned cryptocurrency,
Oh, yeah.
which can be a bit volatile, of course,
It is.
but it also offers some interesting possibilities for passive income. Have you heard of staking?
Staking vaguely, it has something to do with earning rewards for holding certain cryptocurrencies, right?
Yeah, that's the gist of it. It's a way to participate in the security and operation of a blockchain network, and in return, you earn a yield on your holdings.
So it's kind of like earning interest, but instead of a bank, it's a decentralized network.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so if you believe in the long-term potential of a particular cryptocurrency, staking could be a way to earn some passive income while you hold it.
Exactly. But like you said, it's important to do your research and understand the risks involved.
Yeah, always do your research.
Mhm.
Okay, so crypto, what else is in that alternative investment world?
Peer-to-peer lending platforms.
Peer-to-peer lending. Okay.
So that's a way to lend money directly to individuals or businesses, bypassing traditional banks.
So it's like being your own bank, but instead of keeping my money in a savings account,
Right.
I'm lending it out to others and earning interest.
Exactly. It can be a way to potentially earn higher returns than traditional savings accounts or CDs, but of course there are risks involved, as with any investment.
Right. Risk and reward. Always important to weigh those. Okay, so we've got fractional real estate, we've got crypto, we've got peer-to-peer lending. Any other alternative investments that we should be talking about?
Those are the main ones highlighted in the article, but I'm sure there are others out there as well.
Always more to explore. Okay, this is all really fascinating, but I have to admit, I'm also really drawn to the idea of starting a scalable side business.
I hear you.
Like the entrepreneurial spirit in me is tingling.
I love it.
So what kind of ideas did the article suggest in that area?
Well, one that's become very popular is drop shipping. Have you ever considered starting an online store?
Yes.
But the thought of managing inventory and shipping just felt overwhelming.
Oh, absolutely. That's always been a big barrier for me. I love the idea of selling products online, but the logistics feel like a nightmare.
Well, drop shipping solves that problem.
It does.
You partner with a supplier who handles the storage and shipping, and you focus on building your brand, marketing your products, and providing excellent customer service.
So someone places an order on my website,
Right.
and then the order goes directly to the supplier who ships it out to the customer.
Exactly.
I don't have to touch the product at all.
You got it.
Okay, that's pretty brilliant.
A much lower cost way to get started in e-commerce.
Right, because you don't have to invest in inventory up front.
Exactly.
Okay, drop shipping. I'm liking that one. What are some other scalable side hustle ideas that someone could realistically start?
Well, the article mentioned creating a subscription-based membership site.
A membership site.
Yeah, this is a great option if you have expertise in a particular area and can offer valuable content or community to a paying audience.
So let's say I'm a fitness enthusiast and I've developed a really effective workout program.
Right?
I could create a membership site where people pay a monthly fee to access my workouts, nutrition plans, and maybe even a community forum where they can connect with other members.
Exactly. Or maybe you're a graphic designer and you create a membership site offering templates, design resources, tutorials. The key is to provide consistent value that keeps people coming back month after month.
That's a great way to build recurring revenue.
It is.
And I imagine it's a lot less stressful than constantly chasing new clients or customers.
Definitely more predictable income.
Okay, membership sites. What about people who are more crafty or creative? Are there any income streams that play to those strengths?
Absolutely. The article suggests selling digital templates, planners, or courses on platforms like Etsy or Gumroad.
Etsy.
Yeah, these are products you create once and can sell over and over again.
So if I'm good at creating printable planners, I could design them once, upload them to Etsy, and then people can buy them as digital downloads.
That's right. Or maybe you create beautiful social media templates for businesses.
Oh, yeah.
It's a great way to leverage your creative skills to generate passive income.
I love that it's like turning your creativity into a tangible asset.
Right.
Okay, this is all incredibly inspiring, but I have to ask,
Go for it.
are there any ways to generate income from things we're already doing every day?
Like, what do you mean?
Like maybe turning those everyday activities into micro income streams?
I'm glad you asked. The article actually touches on this as well. There are quite a few apps these days that reward you for things like shopping, walking, taking surveys, even scanning your grocery receipts.
Wait, hold on. Are you telling me I can get paid to walk?
It sounds crazy, but it's true. There are apps that track your steps
No way.
and reward you with points that you can redeem for gift cards or cash.
Okay, that's pretty amazing. And what about this cashback and rewards apps for shopping?
Oh, there are a ton of those out there.
There are.
You can earn cash back on purchases you're already making just by using a specific app or credit card.
So it's like getting a discount on everything you buy.
It is.
I mean, it's not a huge amount of money,
Right.
but it adds up.
It does. Every little bit helps.
Okay. And then there are platforms like Turo where you can rent out your car when you're not using it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. I've heard of that. It's like the Airbnb for cars.
Exactly. And if you have a bit of extra time, you can even get paid for market research.
Yeah.
And user testing companies are always looking for feedback on their websites, apps, and products.
This is incredible. It's like there's money hiding in plain sight all around us.
I know, right?
You just have to know where to look.
That's the key. It's about being resourceful and thinking outside the box. We tend to think of income generation in very traditional ways, but there are so many new and innovative possibilities emerging all the time.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. from alternative investments
Mhm.
to scalable side hustles,
Yeah.
even monetizing our everyday activities.
It's been a lot.
It has. But I want to make sure we circle back to those proven principles for success that we started discussing in part one.
Okay.
We talked about diversification, we talked about automation,
Right.
and we delved into the power of reinvesting profits to fuel future growth. Let's focus now on that final principle, staying ahead of trends.
Yeah, that one's crucial.
It feels especially important in today's rapidly evolving world.
Absolutely.
How can people stay on top of emerging opportunities and avoid getting left behind?
It's all about being proactive,
Mm-hmm.
keeping your finger on the pulse of change, reading industry publications, attending webinars, following thought leaders in your areas of interest.
Right, but how do you even know what trends to pay attention to? It's like drinking from a fire hose of information out there.
That's true. The sheer volume of information can be overwhelming.
Yeah?
That's why it's important to be selective
Okay.
and focus on areas that align with your skills, interests, and goals.
So if you're passionate about, say, sustainable living,
Mm-hmm.
you might want to follow blogs, podcasts, and influencers in that space to see what new product services or business models are emerging.
Exactly. It's about curating your information sources and being intentional about what you consume.
That makes a lot of sense. And I guess the other piece is being willing to experiment and try new things, even if they feel a little scary or unfamiliar.
Absolutely. The most successful entrepreneurs and income generators are often the ones who are willing to take calculated risks
Mm-hmm.
and step outside of their comfort zones. They're not afraid to fail because they see failure as a learning opportunity.
Yeah, failure is just part of the process.
It is.
This has been such an eye-opening conversation so far. We've covered so many different strategies, and I'm already feeling more confident and equipped to start building my own diversified income portfolio.
That's fantastic to hear.
But as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, what's one piece of advice you would give to someone who's feeling overwhelmed or unsure where to begin?
Choose one strategy that really resonates with you and start exploring it. Do some research, read articles, listen to podcasts, connect with people who are already doing it. And most importantly, don't be afraid to experiment and learn as you go.
That's great advice. Start small, stay curious, and embrace the journey. We'll be back in the next part to tie it all together and leave you with a clear action plan for building a brighter financial future. Okay, so we're back for the final part of our deep dive into building multiple income streams.
Time to bring it all together?
Yeah, I mean, we've covered a lot of ground, right?
A lot.
From, why diversifying your income is so important these days to all those different strategies.
And pretty creative ones in there.
Yeah, and I hope, our listeners feeling as inspired and ready to take action as I am.
I hope so too.
But, before we wrap things up, I want to make sure we leave them with like a clear sense of what to do next.
Right, make it actionable.
Yeah, exactly. So where would you suggest someone start if they're ready to kind of dive in and build those income streams?
Well, I think the most important thing is to pick one strategy that really resonates with you.
Mm-hmm.
Something that aligns with your, skills, interests, goals.
Okay.
Don't try to do everything at once. It's much better to focus your energy on mastering one income stream before moving on to the next.
So start small, build momentum, and then expand that income portfolio gradually.
That's the idea. And remember, it's a journey, not a race.
Yeah,
There will be challenges along the way.
there will be.
There will be setbacks, but the key is to keep learning, keep growing, and keep moving forward.
And that's where those 4 principles for success come in,
Right.
right? Diversification, automation, reinvestment, and staying ahead of trends.
It all ties together.
Yeah, can you just remind us briefly why those are so crucial?
Sure. So diversification, like we said, it's about spreading your risk.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not reliant on any single source of income. Automation is about working smarter, not harder.
Okay.
Creating systems that generate income, even when you're not actively working around it. Reinvestment, that's about using your profits
Yeah.
to fuel future growth.
Yeah.
Creating that snowball effect and then staying ahead of trends.
Right.
That's about being proactive, curious, open to new possibilities.
So those are our guiding principles.
Exactly.
But what about action steps? What's one tangible thing that someone could do like this week to start building their own diversified income portfolio?
I would say set aside some dedicated time this week to just brainstorm potential income streams.
Okay.
Take out a piece of paper, open a document on your computer, and just start jotting down ideas.
Okay.
Think about your skills, your passions, your interests, even things you're just naturally good at.
Yeah, and don't censor yourself, right?
No, don't censor yourself.
Yeah.
Let those ideas flow freely, even if they seem a little silly or far-fetched at first.
Yeah, you never know where inspiration might strike.
Exactly. And once you have a list of potential income streams,
Okay.
choose one or two that really excite you
Mm-hmm.
and start doing some research.
Okay, so brainstorm research and then
I
what?
mean, create a simple action plan.
An action plan.
Yeah. Break down your chosen income stream into smaller, more manageable steps.
Okay.
What resources do you need? What skills do you need to develop? And what are the first 3 actions you can take this week to get started?
Yeah, that's great advice. It's about breaking it down into those bite-sized pieces.
Right. Make it feel less overwhelming.
And I think it's important to remember that building multiple income streams is not just about, achieving financial freedom.
Mhm.
It's also about personal growth and fulfillment.
Absolutely. It's about taking control of your financial future,
Yeah.
designing a life that aligns with your values,
Mm-hmm.
and pursuing work that is meaningful and rewarding.
When you put it that way, it sounds less like a financial strategy and more like a path to a more fulfilling life overall.
And that's ultimately what it's all about, isn't it?
I think so.
Creating a life of purpose, abundance, and freedom.
This has been such an incredible deep dive.
It has.
I'm feeling so much more knowledgeable and empowered about building multiple income streams. So thank you for sharing your expertise and your insights with us.
My pleasure. Always happy to talk about this stuff.
And to our listener, thank you for joining us on this journey.
Yes, thank you.
We hope you're walking away feeling inspired and motivated and equipped to start building your own diversified income portfolio.
We hope you enjoyed it.
Remember, you have the power to create the life you want.
Absolutely.
Start small, stay persistent, and never stop learning. The possibilities are truly endless.